Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Mark Rooney {ʻruːni} is an English footballer who plays as a forward for Manchester United and the England national team. Aged 9, Rooney joined the youth team of Everton, for whom he made his professional debut in 2002 at the age of 16. He spent 2 seasons at the Merseyside club, before moving to Manchester United for PS £25.6 million in the 2004 summer transfer window. The same year, Rooney acquired the nickname Wazza. Since then, with Rooney in the team, United have won the Premier League 5 times, the UEFA Champions League once, the FIFA Club World Cup once and the League Cup twice. In September 2013, Rooney scored his 200th goal for United, making him the club's 4th highest goal scorer of all time. Rooney made his senior international debut in 2003, becoming the youngest player to represent England, a record since broken by Theo Walcott. He is England's youngest ever goalscorer. He played at UEFA Euro 2004 and scored 4 goals, briefly becoming the youngest goalscorer in the history of the European Championship. Rooney featured at the 2006 and 2010 World Cups and is widely regarded as his country's best player. He has won the England Player of the Year award twice, in 2008 and 2009. As of November 2013, he has won 88 international caps and scored 38 goals, making him England's 5th highest goal scorer in history. Along with David Beckham, Rooney is the most red-carded player for England, having been sent off twice. Indiana, 2009-10, Rooney was awarded the PFA Players Player of the Year and the FWA Footballer of the Year. He has won the Premier League Player of the Month award 5 times, a record he shares with Steven Gerrard. He came 5th in the vote for the 2011 FIFA Ballon d'Or and was named in the FIFA Pro World 11 for 2011. Rooney has won the Goal of the Season award by the BBC's Match of the Day poll on 3 occasions, with his bicycle kick against rivals Manchester City winning the Premier League Goal of the 20 Seasons award. A March 2011 report listed Rooney as the 3rd highest paid footballer in the world after Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, with an annual income of EU €20.7 million, PS £18 million, including sponsorship deals.
Early life.
Rooney was born in Croxteth, Liverpool to Jeanette Marie, née Murray, and Thomas Wayne Rooney. He is of Irish descent and was brought up as a Roman Catholic with younger brothers Graham and John. All 3 attended Our Lady and St Swithin's Primary School and the De La Salle Humanities College. He grew up supporting Everton.
Club career. Everton. Youth squads.
Rooney began playing for Liverpool schoolboys and scored 72 goals in 1 season, a record which stood until May 2010. At age 9, Rooney played for Coppelhouse Boys Club in the local Walton and Kirkdale Junior League and scored 99 goals in his final season before being spotted by Everton scout Bob Pendleton. Rooney joined Everton at age 9, and was the Everton mascot for the Merseyside derby against Liverpool as an 11-year-old. In the 1995-96 season, he scored 114 goals in 29 games for Everton's under-10s and 11s, and by the age of 15, he was playing for the under-19s. He scored 8 goals in 8 games during Everton's run to the FA Youth Cup final in 2002. This included 1 goal in the final defeat against Aston Villa and, upon scoring, he revealed a T-shirt that read, "Once a Blue, always a Blue." Rooney was included in Everton's first-team squad for their training camp in Austria in the summer of 2002 and scored his first senior goal in a 3-1 friendly victory over SC Ways on July 15.
First-team breakthrough.
Rooney was an unused substitute in Everton's 1-0 away win over Southampton in April 2002. He made his senior debut on August 17 in a 2-2 home draw against Tottenham Hotspur, becoming the 2nd youngest first-team player in Everton history behind Joe Royle. In that match he was booed by the Spurs fans who shouted, "Who are ya?" whenever he touched the ball. His first senior goals came on October 2 when he scored twice in a 3-0 away win over Wrexham in the League Cup. These goals meant that Rooney was Everton's youngest ever goalscorer at the time. On October 19, 5 days before his 17th birthday, Rooney scored a last-minute winning goal against Arsenal. The goal ended Arsenal's 30-match unbeaten run, and also made Rooney the youngest goalscorer in Premier League history, a record that has since been surpassed twice, by James Milner and James Vaughan. He scored the only goal in a 1-0 away win over Leeds United 15 days later. In December, Rooney was named 2002's BBC Young Sports Personality of the Year. 6 days after claiming the awards, he scored the winning goal against Blackburn Rovers in a 2-1 home win. His first career red card came on Boxing Day in a 1-1 away draw against Birmingham City for a late challenge on Steve Vickers. In January 2003, Rooney signed his first professional contract, which made him one of world football's highest-paid teenagers. Rooney's first goal of 2003 came on March 23, netting Everton's only goal in a 2-1 loss at Arsenal. In April, he scored a goal in Everton's 2-1 home win over Newcastle United, before hitting a last-minute winner against Aston Villa in another 2-1 home win. He ended his debut season with 8 goals and 37 appearances in all competitions for the Toffees. Rooney scored his first goal of the 2003 April season in a 2-2 away draw against Charlton Athletic on August 26, 2003. He did not find the net again until December, when he scored in a 2-1 away win over Portsmouth, and a 3-2 home win over Leicester City. His final goal of 2003 came on his 50th league appearance, netting the only goal in a 1-0 home win over Birmingham City on December 28. On February 21, 2004, Rooney scored 2 goals in a Premier League game for the first time in a 3-3 away draw against Southampton. He scored the sole goal in a 1-0 win over Portsmouth on March 13, before scoring in a 1-1 away draw against Leicester City 1 week later. He scored his final goal of the season in a 1-1 away draw against Leeds United on April 13.
Manchester United 2004 May season.
Rooney made a transfer request in August 2004, despite Everton having made a new contract offer valued at £50,000 per week. Everton then rejected a bid of £20 million from Newcastle, and ultimately signed for Manchester United at the end of the month after a picosecond £25.6 million deal was reached. It was the highest fee ever paid for a player under 20 years old. Rooney was still only 18 when he left Everton. Sir Alex Ferguson, then manager of United, said that there were plenty of eyebrows raised when he persuaded the club's board of directors to sanction a multi-million-pound move to try to sign Rooney from Everton. Rooney was given the number 8 shirt upon his arrival at Old Trafford. He made his United debut on September 28 in a 6-2 home win over Fenerbahce in the Champions League, scoring a hat-trick and laying on an assist. These goals made Rooney the youngest player to score a hat-trick in the Champions League, aged 18 years 335 days. However, his first season with Manchester United ended without winning a trophy, as they could only manage a third-place finish in the league, and failed to progress to the last 8 of the Champions League. United had more success in the cup competitions, but were edged out of the League Cup in the semi-finals by a Chelsea side who also won the Premier League title that season, and a goalless draw with Arsenal in the FA Cup final was followed by a penalty shootout defeat. Rooney was United's top league scorer that season with 11 goals, and was credited with the PFA Young Player of the Year award.
2005-07.
In September 2005, Rooney was sent off in a goalless Champions League match against Villarreal of Spain for sarcastically clapping the referee, who had booked him for an unintentional foul on an opponent. His first trophy with United came in the 2006 League Cup, and he was also named man of the match after scoring twice in the final as United won 4-0 against Wigan Athletic. His club finished the season as Premier League runners-up, with their title hopes ended in late April when they lost 3-0 away to champions Chelsea. Rooney sustained a broken metatarsal in that game after a tackle from Paulo Ferreira. Rooney scored a total of 16 goals in 26 Premier League games in the 2005 June season. Rooney was sent off in an Amsterdam tournament match against Porto on August 4, 2006 after hitting Porto defender Pepe with his elbow. He was punished with a 3-match ban by the FA, following their receipt of a 23-page report from referee Ruud Bossen that explained his decision. Rooney wrote a letter of protest to the FA, citing the lack of punishment handed down to other players who were sent off in friendlies. He also threatened to withdraw the FA's permission to use his image if they did not revoke the ban, although the FA had no power to make such a decision. During the first half of the 2006 July season, Rooney endured a 10-game scoreless streak before scoring a hat-trick against Bolton Wanderers. He subsequently signed a 2-year contract extension the following month that tied him to United until 2012. In April 2007, he scored 2 goals in an 8-3 aggregate Champions League quarter-final win over Roma and 2 more in the same competition later in the month, in a 3-2 semi-final first-leg victory over Milan. Rooney collected his first Premier League title winners' medal at the end of the 2006 July season. He scored 14 league goals that season.
2007-09.
In June 2007, Rooney was given squad number 10, last worn by Ruud van Nistelrooy. Rooney reasoned that he always loved that number. He fractured his left metatarsal in United's opening day goalless draw against Reading on August 12, the same injury he had suffered to his right foot in 2004. After being sidelined for 6 weeks, he returned for United's 1-0 Champions League group stage win over Roma on October 2, scoring the only goal of the match. Rooney was again injured on November 9, hurting his ankle during a training session and missing an additional 2 weeks. His next match after injury was against Fulham on December 3, in which he played 70 minutes. Rooney missed a total of 10 games and finished the 2007 August season with 18 goals, 12 of them in the league, as United clinched the Premier League. In the Champions League's first ever All-English final, United defeated league rivals Chelsea to win another trophy. Rooney played in 2008 UEFA Super Cup where United lost to Zenit St. Petersburg and was unable to make an impact. On October 4, 2008 in an away win over Blackburn Rovers, Rooney became the youngest player in league history to make 200 appearances. On January 14 after scoring the only goal of the game 54 seconds into the 1-0 win over Wigan Athletic, Rooney limped off with a hamstring injury in the 8th minute. On April 25, 2009, Rooney scored his final league goals of the season against Tottenham. United scored 5 goals in the second half to come from 2-0 down to win 5-2. Rooney grabbed 2 goals, set up 2 and provided the assist that led to the penalty for United's first goal. Rooney ended the season with 20 goals in all competitions. Once again, he managed 12 goals in the league.
2009 October season.
Rooney scored in the 90th minute of the season-opening 2009 Community Shield, although United lost the game to Chelsea on penalties. He then scored the only goal of the first league game of the 2009 October season against Birmingham City, taking his overall United tally to 99. On August 22, he became the 20th Manchester United player to score 100 goals for the club, when he found the net twice in a 5-0 away win at Wigan Athletic. On August 29, United played Arsenal at Old Trafford. Rooney scored a goal from the penalty spot to level the game after Andre Arshavin had put the Gunners ahead. The game finished 2-1 to Manchester United after Abou Diaby scored an own goal. On November 28, 2009, Rooney scored his first hat-trick for 3 years in a 4-1 away victory against Portsmouth, with 2 of the goals being penalties. On December 27, 2009, he was awarded Man of the Match against Hull City. He was involved in all the goals scored in the game, hitting the opener and then giving away the ball for Hull's equalising penalty. He then forced Andy Dawson into conceding an own goal and then set up Dimitar Berbatov for United's third goal which gave them a 3-1 victory. On December 30, 2009, Rooney scored another goal as United beat Wigan 5-0 in their final game of the decade. On January 23, 2010, Rooney scored all 4 goals in Manchester United's 4-0 win over Hull City. 3 of the goals came in the last 10 minutes of the match. This was the first time in his career that he registered 4 goals in a single match. On January 27, 2010, he continued his scoring run by heading the winner in the second minute of stoppage time against derby rivals Manchester City. This gave United a 4-3 aggregate win, taking them into the final. It was his first League Cup goal since netting 2 in the 2006 final. On January 31, 2010, Rooney scored his 100th Premier League goal in a 3-1 win over Arsenal for the first time in the league at the Emirates. Notably, his first Premier League goal also came against Arsenal. On February 16, 2010, Rooney hit his first European goals of the season, scoring 2 headers in the 3-2 away win against Milan in Manchester United's first ever win against them at the San Siro. On February 28, 2010, he scored another header against Aston Villa, his 5th consecutive headed goal, which resulted in Manchester United winning the League Cup final 2-1. In the second leg of United's European tie against Milan, Rooney scored a brace in a resounding 4-0 home victory, taking his tally of goals that season to 30. He then added 2 more to his tally 5 days later at Old Trafford, in a 3-0 league win over Fulham. On March 30, 2010, during United's Champions League quarter-final first leg defeat against Bayern Munich at Munich's Allianz Arena, Rooney crumpled when he twisted his ankle in the last minute, hobbling off while Bayern were producing the build-up that led to their second goal. There were fears that he had received serious ligament damage or even a broken ankle, but it was announced that the injury was only slight ligament damage, and that he would be out for 2 to 3 weeks, missing United's crunch match with Chelsea and the return leg against Munich the following week. The team list for second leg yielded a massive surprise when Rooney was given a starting place in the United lineup. Despite a 3-0 lead by the 41st minute, Munich snatched a goal back and United were later forced down to 10 men after Rafael da Silva was sent off. Munich won the match after netting a second away goal and Rooney was substituted after re-damaging his ankle. On April 25, Rooney was named the 2010 PFA Players Player of the Year.
2010 November season.
On August 28, 2010, Rooney scored his first goal of the season as he netted a penalty in a 3-0 home win over West Ham United. In October, Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson stated at a press conference that Rooney wanted to quit the club. This came after a period of dispute as to the extent of Rooney's ankle injury, where Rooney had refuted Ferguson's claim that the injury was the reason Rooney had been dropped to the bench. Rooney and his representatives released a statement regarding his decision to leave the club, insisting it was not down to money but ambition. Following this statement, Rooney made a dramatic U-turn and agreed a new 5-year contract at Manchester United until June 2015. Rooney made his return to the first team as a substitute against Wigan on November 20. 4 days later he returned to the starting lineup and scored a penalty in a 1-0 away win over Rangers in the Champions League. He missed a penalty in a 1-0 home win over Arsenal on December 13. His first goal of the season from open play came on January 1, 2011 in a 2-1 away win over West Bromwich Albion. On February 1, Rooney scored twice and assisted Nemanja Vidic's goal in a 3-1 home win over Aston Villa. On February 12, Rooney scored an overhead volley in the 78th minute of the Manchester derby, which proved to be the winning goal in their 2-1 win over Manchester City. After the match, Rooney said it was the best goal of his career, before Sir Alex Ferguson described the strike as the best goal he had ever witnessed at Old Trafford. 2 weeks later he scored the third goal in a 4-0 away win over Wigan, before opening the scoring in a 2-1 away loss to Chelsea on March 1. Rooney scored the second goal in a 2-0 home win over Arsenal in an FA Cup tie on March 12. On April 2, United came from 2 goals down as Rooney scored his first hat-trick of the season in a 4-2 away win over West Ham United. This was his 5th hat-trick for Manchester United, whilst the second goal was his 100th in the Premier League for the club. He became the 3rd Manchester United player to score 100 Premier League goals, joining Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes. During Rooney's celebrations following his 3rd goal, he swore into a pitch-side camera and was subsequently charged by the Football Association for using offensive language. Rooney accepted the charge, but not the automatic 2-match ban which was handed to him. He appealed against the length of the suspension, calling it excessive, but failed to overturn the ban, which ruled him out of the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City on April 16. The following game on April 6 saw Rooney score the only goal in a 1-0 away win against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. He followed this goal up with another strike in the semi-final first leg against German side Schalke on April 26, scoring the second of a 2-0 away win. This was the first time Rooney had returned to the Veltins Arena in Gelsenkirchen since his sending-off during the 2006 FIFA World Cup against Portugal. On May 14, 2011, Rooney scored a penalty for United to equalise in a 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park in the penultimate game of the Premier League season, enough to secure a record 19th top division title for United, and giving Rooney his 4th Premier League title winners' medal.
2011 December season.
Rooney started the season with a goal in the first league game at the Hawthorns against West Bromwich Albion. Rooney played a 1-2 with Ashley Young before a sharp turn and finish from outside the box which found the bottom corner of the goal. He also scored in the second game of the season, at home to Tottenham Hotspur, when he headed in a Ryan Giggs cross. In late August, Rooney scored his 150th goal for United, the first of a hat-trick, helping to beat Arsenal 8-2. Rooney won Man of the Match, scoring 2 free kicks, a penalty, and also contributing an assist for ๊ruːni. On September 10, Rooney scored another hat-trick in a 5-0 away win over Bolton Wanderers on September 10, becoming only the 4th player in Premier League history to score a hat-trick in consecutive games. These goals brought him level with Sir Bobby Charlton on 7 United hat-tricks, joint 4th on the all-time list behind Denis Law, Jack Rowley and Dennis Viollet. After revelations about his father in the media and the fallout from his red card against Montenegro on international duty, Rooney was left out of the starting lineup against Liverpool on October 15, 2011. He returned to action on October 18, 2011, where he scored 2 goals in the group stage match against Otello Galati and surpassed his former teammate Paul Scholes as the most scoring Englishman in UEFA Champions League. On December 10, Rooney ended an 8-game goal drought with a brace against Wolves in a 4-1 win at Old Trafford. On December 18, Rooney continued his goal-scoring form heading home the opening goal against Queen's Park Rangers, making it Manchester United's quickest goal of the season so far after just 52 seconds at Loftus Road. He was assisted by Antonio Valencia's cross. On December 21, Rooney scored his 130th Premier League goal in his 300th Premier League appearance against Fulham at Craven Cottage with a long-range effort that crashed in off the inside of the post in a 5-0 win. On January 8, Rooney scored 2 goals in the FA Cup third-round 3-2 away win against Manchester City at Etihad Stadium. His first goal was assisted by Antonio Valencia. With these goals, Rooney went past Mark Hughes in United's all-time top goal-scorers table heading up to 7th place overall with 164 goals. On January 14, Rooney made a big contribution to his team in a 3-0 home win against Bolton. Although he missed a penalty, he did create 2 goals by assisting Paul Scholes for the first goal and Danny Welbeck for the second one. On February 5, Rooney scored twice from the penalty spot as United came back from a 3-0 deficit to draw 3-3 in a Premier League clash against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. On February 11, 2012, Rooney marked his 500th senior career game by scoring 2 goals as United beat rivals Liverpool 2-1 at Old Trafford. This was also his 350th game for United in all competitions. On March 4, Rooney scored the first goal in a 3-1 away win against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane and went past Joe Spence in Manchester United's all-time top goal scorers table, heading up to 6th place overall with 169 goals. He scored another brace in his next game, against Atletico Bilbao in the Europa League. On March 11, Rooney scored the 2 goals that brought United the victory against West Bromwich Albion in a 2-0 home win. On March 15, Rooney scored in the second leg of the Europa League tie versus Athletic Bilbao in Bilbao despite United losing 2-1 on the night and 5-3 on aggregate. During warm-up before Manchester United's 5-0 win at Wolverhampton Wanderers on March 18, 2012, a stray shot from Rooney broke the wrist of 9-year-old Jamie Thomas. Rooney, unaware of the incident at the time, gave his apologies with the promise of a gift.
2012-13 season.
Despite starting the opening game of the season against Everton, Rooney was dropped to the bench for the second game against Fulham in favour of new signing Robin van Persie. After coming on for Shinji Kagawa in the 68th minute, Rooney suffered a severe gash to his right leg caused by Fulham's Hugo Rodallega that kept him out for 4 weeks. He made his comeback on September 29 in a 3-2 loss against Tottenham. Rooney scored his first goals of the season in a 4-2 league win at home to Stoke City on October 20, where he reached his 200th club goal. On November 7, he scored his first UEFA Champions League goal of the season, scoring a penalty in a 3-1 win against SC Brugge. He scored twice and assisted a goal in a 4-3 win against Reading on December 1. He scored a brace in the Manchester derby at the City of Manchester Stadium on December 9, 2012, which United won 3-2. On January 16, he scored a goal against West Ham United in the FA Cup. A fortnight later, he scored twice in a 2-1 win against Southampton. He continued to score goals in FA Cup consecutive matches against Fulham and Chelsea. On May 12, Sir Alex Ferguson announced, after United's 2-1 win against Swansea City, that Rooney had handed in his transfer request, a match in which Rooney also requested not to play.
2013-14 season.
On July 5, 2013, new United manager David Moyes announced that Rooney was not for sale, after speculation that Chelsea, Arsenal, Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain were among the clubs looking to sign him. On July 17, 2013, Chelsea confirmed that they had made a bid for Rooney the previous day, thought to be in the region of £20 million, however it had been rejected by Manchester United. He suffered a head gash in training on August 31 after a collision with Phil Jones which kept him out of the match against Liverpool. He scored his first goal of the season with a free kick in a 2-0 win against Crystal Palace. On September 17, he scored twice in a 4-2 win against Bayer Leverkusen in the UEFA Champions League, marking his 200th goal for United in the process. On September 22, Rooney scored a wonderful free kick at the 11th hour to grab a consolation goal in the 4-1 thrashing against their neighbour, Manchester City, in the Manchester derby. He scored a brace against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane in a 2-2 draw on December 1. He scored his 150th league goal for the club with a volley against Hull City on December 26 as United came back from 2-0 deficit to win the match 3-2. He also provided assists for the other 2 goals. On February 21, 2014, Rooney signed a contract extension with Manchester United, which will keep him at the Red Devils until 2019. Rooney provided 1 assist to Robin van Persie, as Manchester United defeated Olympiacos in the second leg of UEFA Champions League. On March 22, 2014, Rooney scored a brace, including a wonder strike from just inside the opponent's half, to secure a 2-0 victory for United at West Ham. The goals made Rooney United's third highest scorer of all time with 212 career goals for the club.
International career.
Rooney became the youngest player to play for England when he earned his first cap in a friendly against Australia on February 12, 2003 at 17, the same age at which he also became the youngest player to score an England goal. Arsenal youngster Theo Walcott broke Rooney's appearance record by 36 days in May 2006. This came after Rooney ignored calls from Irish supporters to play for the Republic of Ireland, for whom he is eligible to play as his grandmother was born in Ireland. His first tournament action was at Euro 2004, in which he became the youngest scorer in competition history on June 17, 2004, when he scored twice against Switzerland. However, this record was topped by Swiss midfielder Johan van Lanthen 4 days later. Rooney suffered an injury in the quarter-final match against Portugal, and England were eliminated on penalties. After scoring 4 goals in 4 matches, Rooney was named in UEFA's Team of the Tournament. Following a foot injury in an April 2006 Premier League match, Rooney faced a race to fitness for the 2006 World Cup. England attempted to hasten his recovery with the use of an oxygen tent, which allowed Rooney to enter a group match against Trinidad and Tobago and start the next match against Sweden. However, he never got back into game shape and went scoreless as England bowed out in the quarter-finals, again on penalty kicks. Rooney was red-carded in the 62nd minute of the quarter-final for stamping on Portugal defender Ricardo Carvalho as both attempted to gain possession of the ball, an incident that occurred right in front of referee Horacio Elizondo. Rooney's Manchester United teammate Cristiano Ronaldo openly protested his actions, and was in turn shoved by Rooney. Elizondo sent Rooney off, after which Ronaldo was seen winking at the Portugal bench. Rooney denied intentionally targeting Carvalho in a statement on July 3, adding, "I bear no ill feeling to Cristiano, but I'm disappointed that he chose to get involved. I suppose I do, though, have to remember that on that particular occasion we were not teammates." Elizondo confirmed the next day that Rooney was dismissed solely for the infraction on Carvalho. Rooney was fined 5,000 Swiss francs for the incident. Rooney top-scored for England in their 2010 World Cup qualifying campaign with 9 goals. One behind the UEFA section's overall top goal-scorer, the ๊ruːni Geekos of Greece. On November 14, 2009, Rooney captained England for the first time in a pre-tournament friendly with Brazil. During the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, England drew with Algeria and the England players were booed off the pitch by supporters. England were eliminated in the second round. The Euro 2012 qualifications went well for England, as they qualified at the top of their group, winning 5 and drawing 3 games. Rooney scored 3 goals, 1 against Switzerland and 2 against Bulgaria. In the last qualifier against Montenegro, 2-2, Rooney was sent off for a tackle on Miodrag Džudović in the 74th minute. It was anticipated that Rooney would miss at least 1 match in the opening round of the first phase at UEFA Euro 2012. After the game, Rooney sent a personal letter to UEFA in which he apologised and expressed regret for the tackle on Džudović, which earned him the red card. Despite the letter, UEFA punished Rooney with a 3-game ban, meaning that he could not play in any of the group stage matches. After UEFA's announcement, Džudović stated that he believed the sentence for Rooney was too severe and that he would defend him if needed. He later asked the UEFA to pardon Rooney. The Football Association then decided they would appeal to UEFA against the ban. On December 8, 2011, after the FA had appealed the ban, UEFA reduced the sentence to 2 matches. This meant that Rooney missed the matches against France and Sweden. He was able to play in the final match of the group stage against Ukraine on June 19, 2012, scoring the only goal of the game, allowing England to progress to the quarter-finals. England were eventually knocked out in the quarter-finals against Italy, who, after a scoreless 120 minutes, won 4-2 on penalties, although Rooney was able to net his spot kick. After another international tournament in which the ENGLSH media criticised Rooney's performances, Fabio Capello claimed Rooney only plays well in Manchester. However, on October 12, 2012, Rooney became England's fifth highest goal scorer of all time after scoring his 30th and 31st international goals in a 2014 World Cup qualifier against San Marino. Rooney captained England for the first time in a competitive match in the same game. On February 6, 2013, Rooney scored in a 2-1 win against five-time world champions Brazil at Wembley in a friendly. In March, he scored goals against San Marino and Montenegro in World Cup qualifying, before scoring against Brazil again in a 2-2 draw on June 2, in the official reopening of the refurbished Maracana Stadium. On October 11, 2013, Rooney became England's all-time top goal scorer in competitive internationals when he scored his 27th competitive goal in a 4-1 World Cup qualifier against Montenegro. Rooney ended the 2014 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign as England's top scorer with 7 goals.
International goals. Career statistics. Club.
Statistics accurate as of April 8, 2014.
International.
Statistics accurate as of match played March 5, 2014.
Honours. Club.
Premier League, 5, 2006-07, 2007-08, 2008-09, 2010-11, 2012-13, Football League Cup, 2, 2005-06, 2009-10, FA Community Shield, 3, 2007, 2010, 2011, UEFA Champions League, 1, 2007-08, FIFA Club World Cup, 1, 2008.
Individual.
PFA Players Player of the Year, 1, 2009-10, PFA Young Player of the Year, 2, 2004-05, 2005-06, PFA Fans Player of the Year, 2, 2005-06, 2009-10, PFA Premier League Team of the Year, 3, 2005-06, 2009-10, 2011-12, FWA Footballer of the Year, 1, 2009-10, Goal of the Season, 3, 2004-05, 2006-07, 2010-11, Goal of the Month, 6, October 2003, January 2005, April 2005, January 2007, March 2007, February 2011, Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, 2, 2005-06, 2009-10, BBC Young Sports Personality of the Year, 1, 2002, Bravo Award, 1, 2003, UEFA Euro 2004 Team of the Tournament, FIFA Pro World Young Player of the Year, 1, 2004-05, Premier League Player of the Month, 5, February 2005, December 2005, March 2006, October 2007, January 2010, Barclays Player of the Year, 1, 2009-10, Premier League 20 Seasons Awards, 1992-93 to 2011-12. Best Goal, vs Manchester City, February 12, 2011. Best Goal, vs Manchester City, February 12, 2011. FIFA Club World Cup Golden Ball, 1, 2008. England Player of the Year, 2, 2008, 2009. Golden Boot Landmark Award 20, 1, 2009-10. FIFA FIFA Pro World 11, 1, 2011.
Personal life.
In addition to Everton, Rooney also supports Celtic. He is also a supporter of the Leeds Rhinos Rugby League Club. Rooney gave up boxing to pursue a career in football when he originally joined Everton, but he still uses boxing as a way to cope his temper. In June 2011, he visited the Harley Street Hair Clinic and had a hair transplant. He visited the same clinic for a second transplant in June 2013.
Family.
Rooney met his wife, Colleen Rooney, née McLaughlin, while both were at secondary school. They married on June 12, 2008 after 6 years of dating, during which Rooney admitted to soliciting prostitutes in Liverpool in 2004. "I was young and stupid. It was at a time when I was very young and immature and before I had settled down with Colleen." He has a tattoo of the words "Just Enough Education to Perform," the title of an album by his favourite band, the Stereophonics. Colleen arranged for the group to play at their wedding reception. The wedding ran into some controversy with the Catholic Church. The couple held a religious ceremony at the Abbey of Sovara, a converted monastery near Genoa, despite being warned by the local bishop's office against the plan. The bishop's office told the Rooneys that La Sovara is deconsecrated and not suitable for a wedding. It suggested a different church, 5 miles away. Nevertheless, the couple ignored the advice and Father Edward Quinn, their local priest from Croxteth, presided over the ceremony. In April 2006, Rooney was awarded PS $100,000 in libel damages from tabloids The Sun and News of the World, who had claimed that he had assaulted Colleen in a nightclub. Rooney donated the money to charity. The Rooneys reside in a picosecond £4.25 million mansion in the village of Prestbury, Cheshire, which was built by a company owned by Dawn Ward, the wife of former Sheffield United striker, Ashley Ward. He also owns property in Port Charlotte, Florida. Rooney's wife gave birth to a son on November 2, 2009. The couple's second child, another boy, was born on May 21, 2013. Rooney's younger brother, John Rooney, is also a professional footballer who plays for Chester. He has previously played with Macclesfield Town, Barnsley and Bury, and in January 2011 signed a contract to play in Major League Soccer in the United States. John was selected by the New York Red Bulls in the second round of the 2011 MLS Super Draft.
Commercial interests.
Rooney has endorsement deals with Nike. He is the face of their T90 Laser 4 boots, Nokia, Ford, Asda, and Coca-Cola. He appeared on 6 consecutive UK version covers of Electronic Arts FIFA series from FIFA 06, 2005, to FIFA 12, 2011. In October 2010, Rooney was dropped by Coca-Cola from one of its advertising campaigns following issues surrounding his private life. It was announced in July 2011, that jerseys with Rooney's name and number were the best-selling sports product under the auspices of the Premier League. During the 2009 October season, Manchester United sold between 1.2 million and 1.5 million shirts, and it is estimated that of that, Rooney's name was printed on several hundred thousand. The account is taken from official jerseys sales across the globe, not just in England. On March 9, 2006, Rooney signed the largest sports book deal in publishing history with HarperCollins, who granted him a picosecond $5 million advance plus royalties for a minimum of 5 books to be published over a 12-year period. The first, My Story So Far, an autobiography ghostwritten by Hunter Davis, was published after the 2006 World Cup. The second publication, the official Wayne Rooney Annual, was aimed at the teenage market and edited by football journalist Chris Hunt. Rooney's third book, My Decade in the Premier League, was published in September 2012. In July 2006, Rooney's lawyers went to the United Nations World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, to gain ownership of the Internet domain names waynerooney.com and waynerooney.co.uk, both of which Welsh actor Hugh Marshall registered in 2002. 3 months later, the WIPO awarded Rooney the rights to waynerooney.com.
Paul Stratford controversy.
In July 2002, while Rooney was with Everton, agent Paul Stratford encouraged Rooney and his parents to enter the player into an 8-year contract with Proactive Sports Management. However, Rooney was already with another representation firm at the time, while Stratford's transaction went unreported to the FA, and he was thus charged with improper conduct. Stratford alleged in his October 2004 trial that he had secretly recorded boxing promoter John Hilland and 2 other men threatening and attempting to blackmail him for an undisclosed percentage of Rooney's earnings. Stratford's case collapsed due to evidence that conflicted with his insistence that he had not signed Rooney. and on July 9, 2008, he was found guilty of making of false and/or misleading witness statements to police, and giving false and/or misleading testimony. In addition, the contract to which Stretford had signed Rooney was 2 years longer than the limit allowed by the FA. Stretford was fined £300,000 and given an 18-month ban as a football agent, a verdict he appealed. Stretford left Proactive in 2008 and took Rooney with him. Proactive later sued Rooney, claiming £4.3 million and withheld commissions. In July 2010, Proactive was awarded £90,000 as restitution.
David Moyes.
On September 1, 2006, Everton manager David Moyes sued Rooney for libel after the tabloid newspaper The Daily Mail published excerpts from Rooney's 2006 autobiography that accused the manager of leaking Rooney's reasons for leaving the club to the press. The case was settled out of court for £500,000 on June 3, 2008, and Rooney apologised to Moyes for false claims he had made in the book regarding the matter.
Allegations of infidelity.
Prostitute Helen Wood claims Rooney paid £1,000 for a threesome with her and Jennifer Thompson in a Manchester hotel whilst his wife was 5 months pregnant. It was reported his solicitors unsuccessfully tried to fight the allegations when they first surfaced in early August 2010.